Hello everyone, welcome to The Worst Album Ever Made, a show where I'm on a quest to find out what is the worst album ever made. And for today's holiday affair, I thought I would make another patron's Christmas dream come true as I spun the wheel of Wame and I landed on this suggestion by one
Horse Pachinko,
who told me that I should take a look at Wevie Stonder's 2001 album, Drawing on Other People's Heads. Now, when I landed on the album for the wheel, originally I only had this to say about the album. That means nothing to me, right? I have no idea what it is. I hope that's Christmas adjacent. Now, I'm pleased to announce to everyone that now I not only know the name Wevie Stonder, I don't think I'm ever going to forget the name Wevie Stonder. And I hope I can do the same thing to all of you today. It's time to ask the question, everybody. Who is Wevie Stonder? Wevie Stonder is a group of wild British Tupperware artists led by Alan Borman, known for their fringe, absurdist electronic albums and their wild, intimate stage shows that feature a mix of crazed dancing, ridiculous competitions, dogs, and an array of loud, whimsical outfits and props. One famous prop of which is a bicycle helmet that was adorned with lights, fuzzy dice, and a 1-meter-long penis on top, which sadly has been lost by the band. Wevie Stonder's origins trace back to when band members Richard Scothcott and Alan Borman were just 6 years old. That's when the two felt the sudden urge to create and decided to record the sounds of chickens on the side of the road. The two ran back into the house and added guitar strums and the beat of an old biscuit tin, and their first song was made. But they weren't exactly Wevie Stonder just yet. That wouldn't come until the pair became 20, when they both tried, and in their words, failed, to cover Stevie Wonder's I Just Called to Say I Love You. After which, I assume the name came shortly after. Which, I actually like the name. Naming your entire band after another more successful artist can actually create a lot of buzz and interest in what you're doing. And you know what? It's smart. I might do the same thing myself. I'll just change the whole channel's name to the Dreidelknop, and you can just call me Fanthony Antano. I mean, it's brilliant. Marketing genius. Unfortunately for Wevie Stonder, they never reached the same amount of success as other people we've talked about on the show. For example, their debut album Eat Your Own Ears did get reviewed by London's NME.com, but sadly they only received a 0.5 star out of 5. Thankfully, it's not all bad news for Stonder. They have seemed to amass a small cult following, and for Al Borman, he's also gained success in the entertainment industry when he founded his music company, Wevie. This is where Al went on to collaborate with very big names in the entertainment industry such as Comedy Central, MTV, Vice, Cartoon Network, Disney XD, Rihanna, and this very site you're watching this on, YouTube. And thus that brings us here today with me covering Drawing on Other People's Heads. Now, what I like to do for this show is I like to pick up a physical version so I can show y'all at home what it looks like. And this features something really cool. The spine of this is in Braille, and I translated it, and it even says Wevie Stonder on it. I thought that was really cool. Okay, that should be enough of a history lesson, people. It's now time to talk about the music that's within this release. And to help me talk about this music is going to be today's guest listener, who is another odd music reviewer, and their name is Glumburger, and they're coming on to give their unique and British perspective to this unique little release.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing here either, to be fair. I genuinely have no idea what we're in for. Cactus has sent over the album Drawing on Other People's Head by Wevie Stonder, which is already a little bit of a mouthful to say for some reason. But yeah, I have no idea what this is about. I know nothing about this act. I know nothing about this album. I know nothing about the music. I am just gonna listen to this whole thing right now and react to the whole thing, okay? So, yeah, let's discover what the hell we're in for, right? Oh, goodness.
No better place to start than with the first track, and the first track is called When I first played it, it sounded like something from like Tom and Jerry, like one of Tom's screams. Yeah, those. It sounded like one of those that got Paul stretched and sent through a ringer, and that ringer happened to be in hell.
Okay.
But suddenly, the track decides to ease up, and then it just transports you to a hip 2000s jazz lounge. And it's really cool. It like, the whole thing together, this jazz fusion sound, I am all in on. I think it's great. And it's also cool even with the lyrics. The lyrics are like a nonsensical ping pong match between two of the band members. And they're doing some spoken word performance. But it's all nonsense.
What?
It's basically playing a game of word association. It's just going to keep going back and forth, back and forth. But the way they're presenting these words just make them have more meaning just because of that backing track. And that backing track is so powerful that you could say anything and I think it would sound good. Nightmare,
Stair people, of course.
Minecraft,
Couch cushion.
tumbling blocks, Frogger, paper skin, Sonic the Hedgehog,
Grunts.
Ficus,
Squidward.
Cool Rock, Can,
Pillar of Salt.
Green Bean,
Copernicus.
Alzheimer's. This song is one of the best things I've heard on this show. And I've been doing this, apparently now, for 5 years. So that should say something. I very much recommend this song to you people. I hope you like it. If you don't, sorry, I guess. I've heard the complaints on the last couple of episodes that people don't like the autofocus I got. But I don't got like a monitor for this DSLR, so I don't know if I'm in focus or not. If you're seeing this, that means I'm not in focus. And me adding it is now part of the joke. Well, I reckon, partners, it's now time to go saddle up the next song. Next song's Cowboys. With Cowboys, when you start the song for the first time, you're thinking, okay, I see where they're going. It's going to be like an old West-inspired romp, inspired by the works of Gunsmoke and The Lone Ranger. No, not at all. The song takes an immediate right curve. When you think it's going in one way, they're like, dude, this is a reggae song. But don't worry, it's still cowboy adjacent. You got the sound of an old prospector who is saying nonsense and grunting.
Is that the vocal performance?
And if you thought the song was done changing, you clearly don't know Wevie Stonder. And they like to keep you on your toes, and the second half of the song is more psychedelic. The only way I can think about it is, it sounds like Ween's the Mollusk.
My thread is gone. It was not spun. The glass is full. Now the glass is done.
Which, I like the Mollusk. Ergo, I like this song. I think it was a ton of fun, personally. The next song is called Super Taps.
So this one's kind of got like a chill out vibe to it. Yeah. Nice little acoustic there going on.
Super Taps is actually kind of a weird song because it's not weird at all. It's the only full-grown swan and this gaggle of charming ugly ducklings. It's so Nice. And really cool to just sit back and listen to. It lasts about 2 minutes, but it changes enough to make it not boring. There's some starts and stops in there.
Open up the body of the town.
Like, man, whatever narcotics they're on, the effects have well worn off by now, and they are just in the hangover stage of just like,
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say other than the fact that I've been really enjoying my time with Super Taps. I've been playing it on repeat because I like the atmosphere it has, and I like the beat that's just in the background while I do my work, and writing this script that you are listening to now. I did this mostly just by listening to Super Taps on repeat. Next track coming up is Canab. Ken Canab is such a treat off this album. It's such a highlight, something I always show off to people when I've been telling them what I've been reviewing this month. Ken Canab gives you that same feeling, that same experience of watching an old public access educational video.
Now here's a quiz where you have to guess the sounds.
guess the
When you've
sounds.
heard the sound, shout out what you think it is.
Shout out what you think it is.
Then I'll tell you what the right answer is.
Okay, this one's a game. Nice. We can do this. We can follow
Ready?
this. I'm not ready, but we'll
First
try.
sound coming up.
As long as that educational show is Look Around You.
What's this then?
That is the sound when
It's bananas. It's not... It's not real. Like, everything about it is just nonsense.
That was a bit of a trick one. It's a gorilla wearing a top hat.
oh, it's a gorilla wearing a top hat. Yeah, close.
Can you guess the sound? That's right! It's an orca! And on top of it, the beat is very fun and lighthearted, and I like how you don't know if the sound you're trying to guess is in the background with the rest of the instrumental, or if it's going to be in the foreground. It's so weird and fun, and I really like it. And I also like how it really flows in from the current track, Ken Canab, to the next track, which we're about to talk about. I think it's a blast. Next song is called Shervastar. That's good toast.
Oh, lovely strings there. They're really pulling some strange notes, but that is lovely.
Shervastar has the same sounds as you would hear in a noir film, something that should be filmed in black and white. You can hear rain drizzling down, and a foreboding, mysterious atmosphere throughout the whole thing. I really do think that noir film style is what Wevie Stonder's going for here, but they also make sure they reference the short story that the whole song is named after. In fact, the only words spoken on the song are direct quotes from the short story itself. For those who do not know, the name of Shervastar is actually the name of a ferret that a small sickly boy befriends and then worships as a god.
I've got to say, I like this one. I think I like this song. This is very jazzy and very laid back and loungy, and very atonal on that piano. But that's what makes it weirdly interesting as a result.
And I think those two concepts coming together, noir films and Shervastar, the short story, actually works really well together. Now it's time to talk about a track I actually don't like that much, and this one's going to be Gol Nut Bike. Jamil Nut Bike? Gamil Nut Bike.
What is happening here?
You may have noticed, so far, I have not said a single bad thing about this album. There's a reason for that. I actually don't think this album's that bad at all. In fact, I think it's really great. But this song is the worst one off the album, in my opinion. It's the one I dread the most when I come back and listen. And it's not because I don't like the concept. If I was going to place a theme on what the song is about, I would say it's transportation. You hear stuff that sounds like exhaust or bike pedaling or the sound of a bus opening up. Everything about it screams morning transportation. And nothing makes me think about that more than the sound of what seems to be an alarm clock. Or something trying to sound a little bit like an alarm clock. But the thing that makes alarm clocks so alarming is they're not pleasant to listen to. It sounds like I'm listening to an alarm clock go off for 4 minutes.
This one is very difficult to listen to, I think. That repeated note. I love repetition though, don't I? Why can't I really get on with this one? I think because it's very It's still going. It's still there.
I wouldn't say it's one of the most excruciating songs I've ever heard, but it does detract from this album being truly great. And I wish I could just take that whole track and just flick it off that whole set list there. Next song is Quest of the Sacred Baboon. Alright, so this one is an interesting one because we might have discovered the origins of Chap Hop.
Staircases of rock, horses the size of rabbits,
Okay.
and several thousand hound-faced baboons accompanied me on that journey of discovery.
Chap Hop, for those who do not know, is where somebody has a hip-hop beat, and over that hip-hop beat, you have somebody playing a distinguished gentleman, either rapping or telling a story, as Wevie Stonder does here.
The light grew darker, the hair grew longer, the sky gently billowed, and gravity loosened just enough to create a small village.
What's the story of this adventure? Who knows? It's gibberish. The whole thing is just hogwash. My favorite gag of the song is when they decide just to be like, you know what, we're tired of playing the song now. Where they introduce the sound of a rotary mower, and it starts off really soft, and then it gets to be the only thing you'll hear. It just keeps getting louder and louder and louder until the song just decides, okay, enough is enough, and just puts us out of our misery. That is a brilliant, funny way to end your song. A minute of a mower. But that's just my opinion. What does Glumburger think?
Oh my goodness, this is a smorgasbord of just all the sounds colliding into each other. What are they doing?
Next song, I honestly have not much to say about it. It's St. Michael's Mount. St. Michael's Mount is kind of a song that's just always been just kind of there for me. I don't really know much about it besides it's named after St. Michael's Mountain in England. But other than that, it's just a wacky little beat that ends in 2 minutes with the recurring theme of the song is the same phrase, somebody awaits us outside. Hopefully Glumburger has more to say about it.
Trying to articulate my thought here, like, what's the game? The Mario level creator thing. Like, if someone made that and then made their own music pack for it and just decided, like, right, and we're gonna just distort a bunch of bits here, here, and here. So good luck listening to that.
Next song is called Mike Mulligan. Mike Mulligan is about Mike Mulligan, a man who is a construction worker who has a lovely sentient steam shovel named Mary Ann.
She can dig as much in a day as 100 men can dig in a week.
Fantastic. That's great news, Michael.
And apparently, I didn't know this, Mike Mulligan's a thing. Mike Mulligan is a children's book from the 1930s about a sentient giant steam shovel. I thought Wevie Stonder made it up.
So this one's got a real sort of vibe to it.
The faster, better we dig.
But it's so weird and banjaxed. Like, what have they done to this?
Basically, the whole song is like word for word exactly how it is in the book. It's not a full retelling of the story, it's just several key sentences have been transferred over from the book into this song.
So a song all about my Mulligan and his shovel, essentially. Like, you get so many stories on this album, so many just little vignettes of things and scenes and stuff, and you kind of just have to follow along as best as you can.
I think it's a lovely song. I think it's an amazing song. At the end of the whole thing, Mike Mulligan gets a whole moon crater named after him, which I think that's amazing. I wish I had a moon crater named after me, but sadly that'll never happen because I'm a music reviewer. Okay, so now with this next one, I'm not 100% sure if I can even say what the name is. One sec. I'm gonna make a call real quick. Sorry to call you so early in the morning. I'm working on this video review, and you're the only one I could really talk to about this matter.
What's going on?
Okay, so there's a word that is featured in a song title on this video I'm doing, and since you're Italian, I was wondering if I had permission to say a specific word that's the name of this song.
What's the word?
Okay, so this is where it gets okay. Because I don't know if I can say it. So okay, it starts with a G. It ends with an O.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Not at all.
Yeah, no circumstances.
None. No circumstances.
No, none whatsoever.
Okay. How about this? What if? Because no one. The song has nothing to do with it, like at all. Could I potentially, for like the song art, like, because I make like title cards for it. Can I draw it out so people can know the context of the song? No. Okay. Don't worry. I can work with that. Have a good day.
Yeah. You too, buddy.
Okay. This next song is called Redacted Alphabet Garden.
Yeah, there is a threatening character coming in with those strings. This character means bad news. Bringing with him the whole carnival of characters and clowns and stuff that are just gonna this is not a garden you want to hang out in.
This is a weird one. It's a short little song, so short I don't even know why they even kept it. But it's like an accordion, waltzy type song. But the only lyrics is a guy with a funny voice just saying the alphabet.
B, C, E, E.
Of course, it's an alphabet garden.
To me, I don't think it's necessary to keep on the album. It just didn't seem like it belonged here to me. But what does belong here, by far, is this next song called Chub Rock. You might have heard penis music before, but you're going full chub on this one. Love the energy on this track. Love the vibes on it. It's great. It's great.
What is this?
The bass is loud, it's thumpy, it's fast, it's got a good groove to it. The only lyrics in the whole thing is someone saying, "I love you." And when they're saying it, it goes really soft and quiet to them belting, "I love you!" And it makes me feel good. I've listened to this album while going on runs, and I get such a burst of energy from it. It's like coffee. Sure, some of the screeches can get a little annoying for some, but I listen to Hello Kitty Suicide Club. So, it's not as bad as that, I'll tell you that much. I think there's something in my teeth. Well, that's embarrassing. Next song is called Hunter. Hunter is a truly terrifying song. I I didn't really get about how scary Hunter was until I just sat down and just really, really took in what was being said.
I have no... I'm struggling to comprehend this one. This is so weird. That... a bunch of weird voices happening, but you get that boop, boop, boop. It's just driving it.
I'm a hunter.
And then it's...
You are being sedated, is what it sounds like on the song. It sounds like you're in the dentist chair about to daze out, and you're only making out stuff on the surface, and you can't really hear what's going on. But one of the few things that you can hear clearly is, I'm a hunter. But that's a terrifying thing. If that's the only thing you heard clear before you start to really fade, scary.
That is so jarring to hear. It's like that second note is ever so slightly out of time just to make it really uncomfortable to hear. Why?
And the song itself sounds sweet, like it's luring you in. It's trying to keep you in this haze. It's so cool. It's so cool. Also, shout out to those wondrous Casio keyboard sound effects on this thing. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Mwah. Mwah. And finally, we made it to the last track. Here it is, everybody. Let's take a history lesson with the history of dogs. Wow. What a way to end a Wevie Stonder album, talking about dogs, their favorite subject. In fact, their YouTube channel is filled with videos about dogs. Here's some clips from them now.
Hello.
Clearly, this is a dog-loving band, and I think that is a wonderful little thing. The history of dogs is in the same vein as Canab, where the whole song is basically just ready to give you some of that sweet British comedy. Ergo, they're gonna lie to you for a while.
In the beginning, dogs were bees. They flitted from flower to flower.
I don't think that's true.
Until their wings dropped off, and they gave birth to puppies.
Oh.
They mention plenty of dogs. They mention Pluto, Snoopy, Laika, and also, of course we all know who it is, it's Digby, the biggest dog in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest dog in the world!
For the inside story of what happens next,
Digby! Don't swallow!
ask Digby. Rated G.
Who doesn't know Digby? I know Digby. He has a moon crater named after him.
And then it just ends with the cassette just stopping. Ka-chung.
I think it's a great send-off to the album. I like the references to past songs on this track. It's plenty of good fun. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I think it was a great way to end the album with the history of dogs. Woof, woof, bow wow.
I don't know what to make of this. This is one of the most bizarre things I've heard. It's a lot of distorted vocals and vocal performances and a lot of storytelling, and it's just resulted in this really disparate album that's cohesive. It all flows together as one big album experience. What the hell is going on here? But it's really fun. This is a really fun album to listen to. Like, for an album that has moments of atonality and discordance, really fun how it plays around with that. Plays around with structure and expectation, so you don't know what's going to come or why it's even going to go in a certain direction and stuff. I don't know if it was the right decision to not look up anything about this and stuff, but I figured for Cactus's video, best to just leave it as it. Just dive into the album, hear it for the first time, and go from there, basically. But I think it is brilliant. There is some brilliant moments on this. Tracks like Shervastar, I think was fantastic. That was truly brilliant. Mike Mulligan really tickled me, I think. And then ending it on the history of dogs as well, just the entire history of dogs. Though very much like that British show Look Around You, which is one of my favorite TV shows as well. But yeah, I think, yeah, just let's leave it in the hands of the professional who knows more about what to say than I do. So, yeah.
And thus, we come back here to the Board of Shame to ask the question, does this album qualify for the Board of Shame to beat Viper for the worst album ever made? No. We need to step up our game when it comes to these wheel suggestions, people. This was fantastic. In a way, maybe I was just a good boy this year because I thoroughly enjoyed Wevie Stonder. And I've enjoyed other songs I've listened to on their other albums too. I'm a huge fan of this band now. That wasn't the point, people. I want songs to hurt me, to really, really grind my gears here. I want to feel some pain. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. That was my Wevie Stonder review. Thank you to Glumburger for being on here. And I actually say, everybody, Wevie Stonder might have an album coming out soon, and when that drops, I think we should all listen to it. I think we're all fans here of nice, crazed, independent work, and I've thoroughly enjoyed what I heard on this album. And if you made it this far, maybe you did too. So maybe you want to add Wevie Stonder on Spotify. And Spotify, can you please fix the song titles on this album? Almost all of them are wrong. Quest for the Sacred Balloon? That's not an animal. That's an object you fill with air. Thank you as always. I have a Patreon if you want to support me. Link down below. For all of my $7 tier members, your album will be coming soon. Look for that in a bit. Anyway, I think that's it for me. I don't think I have anything else to say, so I'll see you next time.
Santa has gone awry. He's been hanging out among the coconut trees. And in the evening sun, he has a lot of fun, mingling with the surfers and sailing in the breeze. He'll know when he calls to him, and he'll go right after one more swim. Yes, Santa's on Hawaii, so look for a tan Santa this year. Santa has gone Hawaii. He's vacationing beneath Hawaiian skies. Far from the eye.
49-year-old woman. Bucket of lard. Small little man.